Hello everyone, so we are back for the Montreal GP and we have a good news this time. The race was very interesting first of all, and the highlight of the race is that Mercedes is finally into the racing phase. Finally, that's what we have been waiting for. So let's get on with the podcast first. And
Yes. So, firstly, the most amazing race of Canada and Mercedes being on the top on the first row, the starting row. George did a very good job. स्टार्टिंग में ही उसने जो कॉर्नर पे अटैक किया है जिससे मैक्स couldn't gain the position for the first place. He did a very good job. George, good work, honestly saying. But as we know, it was a tricky condition. पूरा race track wet था. He was struggling for the grip and everything, honestly saying, because wet line है तो उनको बहुत difficult पड़ जाता है, right? उनको drive करने के लिए. So still in those conditions he made sure that he's not giving up the position to Max. So that's the one thing I would give to George in the Canada GP.
and Haas had the best strategy until the rain went off. They were the only two cars which were on wets. The others all were inters, right? So that gave them a marginal advantage over the other cars because Magnussen gained almost 7 places and Hulkenberg gained over 10 places, P14 to P4. Immediately, all the other cars were struggling, and they went from left, one went from right, and they were in the lead. So, Vets did work for them in the first few laps, and then then they had the significant fall, and they were back to
the whole down way.
Yeah.
Hulkenberg, he was like legit behind Hamilton, as we know, and he was giving a fight to him because of the wet tires. But as the rain went, the track conditions started getting dry. They lost the pace, and we know they came in the bottom 10s. So yeah.
But still, they were going good though. I mean, they had a decent pace out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the P5 to P10 league, there were two drivers, Alonso and Hamilton. Alonso being P5 and Hamilton being P6. They were having the best fight. At least for 25 to 30 laps, they were fighting continuously. Like Hamilton was on the tail of Alonso for the whole time, and that was only for the P5 position.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Being P5, yet Alonso did a good job defending them even after the upgrades have gone wrong. And Hamilton was on the tail of Alonso, and he was trying to get that P5 position.
Yeah, all the time, brother. All the time. So
yeah, definitely.
That was a good thing. And we did see that the Mercedes were having a significant improvement, but Montreal has always been a question mark for every team, every time. So we cannot really rely on this, or all the Mercedes fanboys cannot get their hopes up yet, because you never know what would happen in the next race. So we'll see about that. Sorry, Som. Please hang in there. I know. Yeah, never mind.
So basically, Canada is always a question mark. The reason is this time, whatever the bumpy surfaces were there, जितने भी थे उन्होंने cover कर दिया था with the new tarmac, and whenever there is a new tarmac on the track acts slightly different to the previous track. So that's why teams didn't get a good data to understand the track and क्या differences है क्या नहीं.
We saw that with the Red Bull as well, because Red Bull being the dominant team, they were struggling the whole time. Yeah. Yet we know they won. But still, Verstappen was struggling.
They were struggling.
Yeah. He had a good competition.
It was not as similar.
Yeah. He had a good competition. It was not as similar as. Correct. Like definitely. Every other races every year since 2021, where they stole the Grand Prix winner. But anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's get back to the race. So,
yes.
After some laps, Russell made a big mistake where he missed the last chicane, and that made him lose 2 positions because Verstappen gained 1 position and Norris also overtook. So I mean, whenever Russell is in advantage or whenever he is under a lot of pressure, he makes mistakes, which is not something that Mercedes would agree to, but still they are, because they don't have a choice now, do they?
Definitely, I go with this. And the thing is, Russell has never shown a good performance when he's under Max or Norris. We saw this time also, and I feel that's where Mercedes lost it. They would have easily come 1 and 2, but because of that one mistake, the whole P1 position has been gone from Mercedes, and even after getting such good upgrades in Canada, they lost it over that one mistake. So, Norris lost his P1 position after overtaking Russell when he made a mistake. And this happened because of a safety car. And safety car came because of Logan. And Logan went into barrier. So, this costed Norris a big time. And his P1 position got off his hands. Because Logan Sargent lost his control and went into barriers.
So this concludes that what goes away comes comes back, because
Yeah.
he won one Grand Prix because of a safety car, and now he lost one because of a safety car. So
Yeah. It's a whole cycle, I can say.
karma.
Karma.
Yeah. Anyway, so continuing with this, that after the safety car, there was a brilliant move by Albon on Sauber and Alpine. I guess Alpine was in the front and Sauber was behind, and he just like the cars were like this parallel to each other, and he went in between this, and they were on a straight. It's not like they were on a corner or something. He did that on a straight. That shows how powerful the Williams car is. Like it can actually comes into the lower points, but yeah, P1 to P10 they have a good chance though. Yeah, that was a very good move. Risky, obviously, but
Risky, definitely. But Williams is always known for its straight line speed, and it really showed this time. It has always shown a good straight line speed, and definitely did a good job over there.
I agree.
Yeah. So it was a good one. Like a legit. I thought it was like a movie shooting or going on. Like the way he overtook, it was so good, man. Like I was like, is this really happening? I was not expecting that at all.
I
was
called
like,
you
stop,
and I
you
was
stop. He was not
shouting.
stopping. He just went.
Yeah, I called you and I was shouting,
Yeah,
"Bhai, kya ho
man.
raha hai? Bhai, kya ho raha hai? Bhai, kya ho raha hai?"
I know.
Yeah. And they got out in the second quali, by the way. Both of the cars, not even one. Both of the cars. So Charles was. Sorry. So Charles was given hard sleek here, all right. And then what happened is that the team said that there will be only 2 laps of rain now, so you can go on slowly. And because it wasn't even raining as hard as it should have been, right, for the inters. So they said just push on, and he was losing crazy amount of time. He came out on P12, then he was P19 on the spot. So you see the backslash that the team had on the team had on Charles. So that was the biggest mistake that the strategists made again for Charles. That made him retire the car, because the car was under a lot of pressure anyway. So after this, what happened is everyone started to pit. First of all, who pitted was Gasly. He took the long way home and pitted, and he went on hards. So everyone saw that he has started to gain the pace, because there was a racing line created by all the drivers driving around the track, and there was no rain at that time, right? So Gasly went on hards, and then everyone started to change. So mediums were supposed to be going very well, and hards were keeping up with them in the most precious way. Like it was very precise. They hards were having a good lap time as well. So as and when the laps were counting on, every car started to pit.
Yeah. So yeah, basically that helped a lot of teams to get the data and get to know that is it good to play that gamble of putting a sleek tires in the rainy track. So yeah, it did play a good part. Gasly did play a good part, and it helped honestly every other team. So that's the main thing Gasly could do. As we know, Red Bull did sign Perez till 2026. It's a great news for Perez, but it didn't seem as committing as it should be because Perez was struggling. He qualified P16. Again, he crashed into an Alpine driver, and after that, he went into barriers, which caused a big backlash for Red Bull and for Perez. But even after that, his rear wing was broken.
And he was still driving.
Red Bull
wing
told
was
him
broken.
that don't
He
stop,
was supposed
just
to
come.
stop. Yeah. The wing was broken. He was supposed to stop there, but still, Red Bull
Yeah.
said that you should keep driving. Why? Because that if there would be a safety car, Verstappen would have lost the advantage or the
P1
time.
position, yeah.
The time he had gained over Norris, because if that would have happened, see, Verstappen was already struggling with the car. There were the downshifts
Definitely.
were the downshifts were fucked anyway. So the only
Yeah.
thing that they had to see was that Norris never gets in the 1 second time frame, else
Gap,
he would
yeah.
easily overtake him. So that
Definitely.
was the gamble that Red Bull took over for Perez, just because they wanted Verstappen to win and the safety car didn't come.
Yeah.
So that costed him 3-place grid penalty in the next race. I'll share the article with you as well on the screen and in the description, so you can have a look about that.
Well, anyways, if saying Max won the race, and I feel like Red Bull shouldn't have made that decision because now it's gonna again cost Perez for that. So it did make sense doing that, and it was pretty unsafe because the debris were falling on the track, and if any driver would have gone over that, his tires would have gotten punctured, and the whole race would have been ruined for them. So it was a very unsafe thing from Red Bull.
Well, it's a typical Red Bull, man. What can we say anyway?
Yeah, I agree.
It's fine.
Speaking about crashes now, we saw a big crash. Not a big crash, we can say, but
Silly crash.
Carlos lost
Silly
his
crash.
control. So, yeah, silly. Yeah, Carlos lost his control, and that costed Albon because Carlos lost his control. He crashed into Albon. Albon race is ruined. And again, when Carlos was trying to get on the track, he was having a Tokyo drift over there of his own. So yeah, it was just some what I don't know what was that, but it was something different. And like एक बंदा spin मार रहा है, एक बंदे ने उसको ही ठोक दिया है.
It was a
So
Taras
because
of the moment there.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple
So-
of memes where the car is going around like on the grass like the Tara Rapunzel.
Yeah, man. So this actually costed Williams and Ferrari both because they both cars DNF, and which is not good thing because when you're such an experienced driver, you can't make such mistakes, and even if you're making such mistakes, you can't let that cause to other drivers, which
Of
did to Albon.
Agreed, yeah.
So it was not a sensible move by Carlos also. Albon tried to save himself, honestly, but
Yeah.
nahi ho paya.
At this point, hear me out. Both the Williams and both the Ferraris are DNF'd. So two teams are
Yes.
completely out of this race, and this was
Out of the
around
race.
lap 53, if I'm not wrong. Lap 53,
Yeah.
yes, lap 53. I mean, wow, man, you ruined two teams, man. What's wrong with you guys? No, man.
I know.
Yeah. So now there was no drama then for a long time. Then we come on to Piastri and Russell, where they were going on each other like crazy because they wanted the
Yeah.
P3 position, right? So what happened is that in the last chicane, there was the Russell went from outside and PS3 was obviously defending his position, and they had a bit of a contact which would have been extremely hazardous. I mean, that was the most what we can say bizarre move.
Close call.
Bizarre move and a very
Yeah.
close call that could have ruined two cars,
Mercedes
two
and-
Mercedes
yeah.
and McLaren, and their budget would have gone up and down just because of that one crash.
Yeah.
It would have been very brutal, but touch wood, nothing happened to either of the car. But yeah, Russell ended up gaining the place. Obviously, he was fast.
George
Mercedes was fast this
by
time.
backing off,
Yeah.
and like it was very close. And he was honestly he was ahead of Piastri a bit, and it was Piastri's move to stop the car,
Correct.
not Russell's. But Russell played a smart move. He waited, and after that he again gained the position, which was a good job by Russell,
I
getting to P3
agree.
and getting into podium.
I agree. agree.
The first podium for Mercedes.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
and that wasn't the case yet because because Hamilton was already P3, and there's where Russell came in, and there the fight between Mercedes and between both the Mercedes drivers started. The team warned both of them that play fair, don't get any
Yeah.
accidents, and we are not playing against the team here, so please be careful. But still they were going on, and at the end Russell gained up the podium place, which could have been Hamilton's position. So yeah,
That's sad, man. That's
Yeah.
sad.
and
Honestly
at the
saying?
end, yeah, and 1 second, and at the end of the day, at the end of the race, there was a message, radio message by Toto, which Lewis Hamilton chose to ignore and didn't even say a word. Not even the radio message was like the button was clicked on the steering wheel. He was that
Yeah.
done with the
Disappointed,
team.
yeah.
Yeah, he was that disappointed. Not the right thing, to be honest, man. I mean, I know he's going next year, but this is not how you treat a 8 world champion, not 7.
Yeah,
Eight.
8-time world champion, definitely. I will give with that. And I know Mercedes is favoring George a lot right now because he is going to be the future driver and not Lewis. But I still feel like Lewis has given a lot to Mercedes, which
Obviously, lot.
Mercedes and Toto should think
What do you mean by
about it.
lot, dude? Everything what Mercedes has right now
Everything,
is
yeah,
because
everything,
of Lewis
yeah.
Hamilton.
Like Mercedes face is just Lewis Hamilton. Everyone knows. Like if Mercedes, anyone says it's gonna be Lewis Hamilton, yeah.
So, well, anyway, let's not create a grudge over Mercedes because we know they are
Yeah.
they're an incredible team, first of all. So anyway, this was this was all the updates about the Canadian Grand Prix, and I know it was feisty enough, but yeah, we enjoyed.
Yeah, we
at
enjoyed
least
it.
for now,
It had a pretty much chaos. Yeah.
yeah.
So much
It was
chaos. I was
chaotic.
like, we were surprised. Oh, this is also happening. This
Yeah.
is also happening at the same time. Everything was happening
There
at
were
the
two
same
safety
time. and it
cars for
was
the
honestly
first
very
time.
impressive.
There were two safety cars for the first time, though. Think about
Yeah.
it. That was a very interesting race,
Yeah.
and we have more and
Interesting,
more
yeah.
coming over. So we'll see
Yes.
where it goes. And this was the second part. So I guess we can conclude this. So thank you so much for watching. First of all, thank you for keeping up with these long videos. I understand that we have to shorten it down, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
anyway,
good.
anyway, so yeah, thank you. First of all,
Yes,
thank
guys, thank you so much. Show some support, show some love. And signing off.
you. See you soon. Bye.